The last echoes of my parents' car engine faded into the distance as they left for a weekend getaway, leaving me alone in our old family home. The initial excitement of having the house to myself quickly gave way to an uneasy feeling as the sun dipped below the horizon. I decided to shake off the growing sense of unease by immersing myself in a movie marathon. The glow of the TV provided some comfort in the darkening living room. The creaks and groans of the house, however, seemed to take on a sinister undertone, punctuating the silence between scenes. As the night deepened, a peculiar chill settled over the house, and I found myself constantly glancing over my shoulder. It wasn't long before I began to feel a palpable sense of being watched, as if the walls held secrets waiting to be revealed. Attempting to dispel the growing unease, I made my way to the kitchen for a snack. The flickering light of the refrigerator briefly illuminated the room as I searched for something to eat. That's when I heard it. A soft whisper, indistinct but unmistakable. "Stay." I froze, a cold shiver running down my spine. I dismissed it as my imagination, a byproduct of being alone in the quiet house. But as I returned to the living room, the air hung heavy with an unspoken presence. The TV cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an illusion of movement. From the corner of my eye, I caught glimpses of fleeting figures, silhouettes that seemed to dart out of view whenever I turned to look directly at them. Determined to shake off the growing paranoia, I headed upstairs to my bedroom. The hallway stretched before me like a dark corridor, the soft glow of the moon barely illuminating the way. I reached my room and closed the door, hoping to create a barrier between myself and the unsettling atmosphere outside. Just as I settled into bed, a faint tapping echoed through the silence. I strained my ears, trying to discern the source. It came from the window, a rhythmic, deliberate sound like fingernails against glass. I approached cautiously, the tapping growing louder with each step. Peering into the night, I saw nothing but the shadowy outlines of trees. The tapping persisted, now accompanied by a low murmur that seemed to ride the night breeze. It was a whisper, too soft to make out words, but with an undeniable urgency. Fingers trembling, I closed the curtains, plunging the room into darkness. The tapping ceased, but the murmur persisted, now seemingly emanating from within the room. I strained to understand, my mind grappling with the possibility of an intruder. In the dim moonlight, I caught sight of a shadowy figure standing at the foot of my bed. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for the bedside lamp. But when the light flooded the room, the figure vanished, leaving only a lingering sense of dread. Determined to confront the source of my fear, I descended the staircase, the air heavy with an otherworldly tension. The living room felt colder, and the whispers persisted, now forming discernible words. "Alone. Stay alone." A chill ran down my spine as the voice seemed to echo from the very walls. I hesitated, contemplating whether to flee or face the unknown. The house seemed to pulse with an energy, an entity that transcended the boundaries of the physical. As I approached the front door, a gust of wind extinguished the candles scattered around the room. The house plunged into darkness, the only illumination coming from the dim glow of the streetlights outside. The whispers reached a fever pitch, a cacophony of voices urging me to stay. I stumbled backward, the front door seemingly inches away. But as I reached for the handle, it slammed shut with a force that reverberated through the house. The whispers intensified, now a chorus of desperate cries that reverberated in my mind. I turned to find the staircase leading to the basement yawning open, a black void that seemed to beckon. The whispers guided me, compelling me to descend into the unknown. Each step echoed with the weight of my trepidation. In the basement, a single light bulb swung lazily from a frayed cord, casting long, ominous shadows. The whispers condensed into a singular voice, a spectral figure materializing before me. It was a reflection of myself, distorted and ethereal. "Alone," it whispered, its voice a haunting echo. "You will always be alone." The basement seemed to close in around me as the whispers reached a crescendo. I recoiled, stumbling backward up the stairs, desperate to escape the suffocating darkness. As I reached the top, the front door creaked open, revealing the night outside. I fled into the cool night air, the whispers fading behind me. The house loomed in the background, silent and foreboding. I stood on the doorstep, gasping for breath. The weekend passed in a blur, and when my parents returned, they found me pale and shaken. I struggled to convey the inexplicable horror that had unfolded in their absence.